So, hi, my name is Kim Hess, and of Kim Hess Yoga, and I am going to have a little visit with my good friend Jody Lipkin here. Jody, where are you right now?
This is Jody. Sorry, I got to wear my sunglasses because it's sunny, but it's beautiful out here. I'm up in my, Bob and I have 40 acres up in the Sierra Nevada mountains overlooking Lake Oroville. That's Lake Oroville back there. The one evacuated 3 years ago or 4 years ago. So.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that year. Cool. So I wanted to ask you, actually tell us for those that are new to you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are today.
Oh my goodness. That's a long question. I'll try to keep it short. Well, Bob was cruising for many years before I hooked up with him on his own boat. And I left with him in 1993. And when we came back from cruising, we started Latitudes and got married, started Latitudes and Attitudes magazine. Eventually, we sold our boat in 2007. And I cried for 2 weeks. That was a tough one. And we built this home in 2005, but we didn't move into it until the end of 2012.
Wow.
So it's lightly lived in. We would only come up here for a vacation, like for Christmas or Thanksgiving sort of thing, because we lived in Southern California. We had our offices down there.
That's right.
Right, and now we're finally moved up here official. We absolutely love it. It's been great during the pandemic.
I'll bet. Yeah. Cool. Good deal. So I understand you've been practicing yoga a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Another, they always say out of tragedies, hard things, whatever in life, there's always a silver lining. And one of the silver linings with having all of our functions canceled, having no travel, having to work from home and stay here, I actually had some time on my hands. I wasn't running around like a crazy lady. And Kim, she sent out an email saying she was starting the yoga on board, or yoga foundations, sorry, the other one, yoga foundations. And I said to myself, I've really got to try this. I've got to commit, and I'm gonna be 62 soon, and I'm starting to feel it. I'm really starting to feel it. And I just made a commitment to myself that I was going to really try to do it. And so far, it's been about 2.5 months, Kim. I looked on the calendar.
I know. So I'm super excited. So you started with, when I said shortly after the pandemic, I started teaching Facebook Live classes when I started, everybody went online and virtual because of the lockdown. And I got to thinking, I've always wanted to do an online studio. So within a couple weeks, I had my online studio up, the Yoga2Life Online Studio. And in it, I put the online course that you're talking about, the Yoga Foundations online course, which is a 6-week online course. And it was so exciting for me because when you came into the studio, you started that course and followed it through, did the 6-week program, just like I suggested. And how was that for you following that course, beginning yoga
made all the when I had the boat and did your yoga on board through the book and did that was great. But I didn't know, I've never known. When I take periodic yoga classes, and some with you, and I just follow along. But I never really knew what was behind all the vinyasas, what was the exact poses. To able to study it in a class and then having your video show me how to do it. I'll tell you, the first class took me, you said it was a 1-week course, it took me 2 weeks. Going back and going, what was that again? I can't believe, just the details of how you move, because I'm a little slow. Bob always says, if he has something he really wants to get done, he gives it to the bulldog, which is me. But if he needs it done quick, forget it. He wouldn't give it to me. That's why. It's not that most people probably could get it done in a week.
Well, you also have really paid attention, and you are like anybody's dream student because you paid attention, you follow the directions, and when you come into practice, when we practice together in the online studio during my live classes, you are practicing safely. You're protecting your body, you're protecting your knees, and you've got a knee issue, and so you're really, really conscious of that. So by going through that first step, not just jumping into it, you were very smart. You're very smart for sure.
I loved it. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. So, where do you practice when we practice together?
Well, it depends on the weather. I'm very fortunate that we have, when it's cold out, I can't be out on my deck. But when it's warm out, I'll do it out on my deck. This is the sunbathing chair area, but over there, back that way, I have a beautiful covered roof and a big open space. It's lovely. And in the winter, when we started, it was cold. So I go downstairs to our gym, which is it's a 2-car garage. It's been turned into a gym, and turn the heater on. And I just, moved a few pieces of equipment and made myself a beautiful, fine little place down there in the gym for the wintertime. So I'm set.
Yeah, that's perfect. So basically, and then we've also been practicing with your sisters.
Oh, that's been so much fun.
Yeah, so Jody invited her 3 sisters into the studio, and we set up a special practice just for them, which I'm willing to do. Anybody that comes in with 4 or 5 people in their group, I will set up a special private class just for you. And so Jody's had her sisters, and once a week we get together with Jody and her sisters. It's the Twisted Sister time.
It's so much fun to see their faces every week.
Yeah.
Well, one of my sisters, she's too busy with family. She hasn't been able to get on yet, but hopefully now that August is rolling around.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun though, because because you've got a sister in California, Texas, and Virginia. Is that right? Yeah, so they're all over the place. So it's been a lot of fun to see you guys get to interact like that and stuff. It's been a blast. Yeah. How often are you practicing?
I'm able to pretty regularly. I've been able to do 3 morning classes a week and 2 late classes a week.
You're cutting out a little bit.
I do about 5 classes a week, 3 in the morning and 2 in the evening.
Cool. And what have you noticed mentally and emotionally? What have you noticed any differences since starting just 3.5 months ago? I think we lost you, Jody. Jody, I think you're frozen. Jody. Joys of virtual. You might need to get closer to internet. Cool. Let's give Jody just a minute here while she moves closer to the internet. It's always fun when this happens, but it has, from my perspective, it has been so much fun getting to see Jody and play with Jody on the mat 5 times a week, most weeks 5 times a week, and getting to know her sisters and seeing her progress and seeing her body open up. It's just been phenomenal for me. So let's see. Are you back, Jody? We're getting there, I think. Let's see. So, okay, I'll just keep going until we get her back. Yeah, if anybody's interested in joining, and my intention for this interview was to really get Jody there and talk about her practice and what yoga is for her. So introduce you and let everybody know that you have an online yoga studio. I offer right now 9 classes, 5 classes, and then there's also in there the Yoga Foundations online course and a whole bunch of other recorded classes. So if you can't make it for the recorded classes, I'm in the process of pulling together a bunch of audio classes that you'll be able to download. There'll be coaching tips and tricks for life coaching as well. And so there's a bunch of fun stuff in there. Okay, I can hear you kind of, sort of, Jody. You're frozen though. I wonder if you need to hop off. There you are. I wonder if you need to hop off. There you are. Sound is
Hi.
Sound is kind of. Okay, can you hear me okay? This is our life, people. Yay. This is our life, people. Yay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Love technology. Love technology. So what I wanted to ask you was, so you've been doing yoga approximately 5 times a week for the last 2.5, 3 months. What physical, mental, and emotional shifts have you noticed, if any?
Oh my goodness. That's a good question. The physical is both, first of all, I can feel every time I do the movements, I can feel that I'm stretching better. I'm able to get a deeper stretch. I notice that it's actually working. So physically it's working. Emotionally, it's interesting. There's a lot of energy you have in your body, and there's certain things that we do that there's certain areas that I have to work on. And when we're stretching those areas and it's a really good stretch, it's very emotional. And the energy that comes out, you can just feel it going through your whole body. It's amazing. And I cried a couple times, for joy. So really, I just am amazed at how wonderful yoga is, not only for your physical, but your emotional. Therefore, you're mentally better. Who knew? I've never done it so much, 5 times a week. I would do it a couple times a week here and there on the boat. It was never as intense because I never had a teacher watching me and telling me, or getting me to do the harder things that I need to do to fix my areas. Makes a difference.
Cool. I like that you're getting those results. And how has it been working around you've got some physical things that we're working around. How has that been for you?
It's good. And if it hurts, I just adjust the movement. And if it's a little sore afterwards, I put ice on it. But I need to loosen up my fascia tissue. I don't know if you guys know what fascia tissue is, but it joins all your muscles together, and it's supposed to be slippery and slick, and you're supposed to be able to move with it. But if you don't stretch and keep your facet tissue limber, I guess is a good word to say. Kim knows more about it. They get sticky. It gets sticky and it gets hard and it gets thick. And then all of a sudden you can't move those muscles. And that's where your pain comes from. And I'm now breaking that fascia tissue up. So it's going to be a little painful. It's amazing. I thought I was in good shape. And I'm in okay shape, but I have a long way to go. I'm excited to see what it's like next year at this time.
Yeah. And you're also joining me for a 30-day cleanse and detox this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we just started that on Monday the 20th. How has that been for you? It's only been 4 days or 3.5 days, but have you noticed any changes so far from that?
Well, I've lost a couple pounds. I've lost about 3 pounds already. The food part is pretty easy for me because I always like to eat healthy anyway. So I told Bob, I said, I'm just going to be eating the way I usually do, Bob, instead of the way I have been. It hasn't been hard. And, we're in the detox part of it right now for another week or so, right? Or 6 days. So it's going to be interesting to see how it's easy. It's not hard to do. I've been sleeping pretty good. Except when my cat wakes me up in the middle of the night with a mouse. But
yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I'm really happy about it. I'm looking forward. I know it's going to help fix my inside, which is so important.
We'll maybe have to come back together and do this again when we're done with the cleanse. And after the full 30 days. That would be fun. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I've already noticed my inflammation decreasing in the mornings. Because prior to this, I was eating a lot of bread and cheeses and doing my little emotional eating thing, and cutting that out and just eating everything else normally, like I normally do, like you said, because it's a lot of vegetables and just whole, clean foods. But cutting out the bread and the cheeses for right now, the inflammation, I was waking up in the morning and it would take me 5 minutes because I was sore, just that achy feeling. And even just the last 2 days, even after just being on it 2 days and taking the supplements and the essential oils, I'm not achy at all in the morning. So I'm super stoked to see.
Yeah, I have noticed, speaking of aches, since we've been doing yoga, my lower back pain is pretty much gone. I always had really bad lower back pain, and I realized it the other day. I was like, oh, wow, I don't have that monkey down there anymore. It's so, yeah. And I'm sure getting rid of the inflammation is going to help with everything, the other boo-boos, the shoulder and the knee.
Yeah. For sure. Especially with both of those. Cool. So what do you love most about yoga? If you could pick or had to pick one thing, even if it's a favorite pose or whatever, benefit, mental thing, what's your favorite thing about yoga?
I would have to say that I know it's helping me make my temple better. That right there gives me so much joy. It's a big deal, especially when you start to age. You start to realize you need to start taking care of yourself.
Yeah, we can't take our body for granted anymore, can we?
That's right. That's right.
So have you also done some meditation with the classes, and how have you liked that?
We do 2 nights a week. We do yoga, right? And we do meditation in that. And
let me explain that real quick. That is 5 M's. We work with the moon cycle. We have movement, usually very gentle movement. We have mantra, mudra, and meditation. So that's the yoga. Anyway, carry on, Jody.
It's really nice to have at the end of the day, in the afternoon before I go and make dinner, is it really, you know, when you do the moon phase and you tell me where it's at, and we do a little what is that called when you do the
mudras, the hand gestures, like this is the
yeah, and it just really calms you down, your breathing, everything. It really centers you and makes you feel very relaxed, especially after a busy day. I do it on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights, and or afternoons, and I love it. I would love to incorporate it and do it more. I just have not been able to figure that out yet. Between our yard, taking care of our yard, taking care of the house, number one, the business, all the things that we still have going on, it just, life gets so busy. You know, I'm just proud. I'm happy I'm doing what I'm doing right now, and hopefully I'll work into that.
We're really fast, so I'm really excited for you. And as far as doing that, I'm actually working on something for another client of mine on just a simple way to start building a daily habit. She says, you know, I really want to get on the mat daily and doing it so it's set up for support to build that new habit and for success. So you're not committing to an hour or 2 hours every single day. It might take 5 minutes, but that 5 minutes can be very powerful. And creating that new habit is where you start. So I'm working on something for her that I'll be sharing with everybody else on how to create that daily habit.
Nice.
Opening up the body and meditating and stuff. So cool. So would you recommend doing yoga or meditation to others?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say what I said before. I guess I can repeat myself. I don't know. It does your physical, your mental, and your emotional. All the movements open things up. It's amazing. It's not a hokey hokey. It's for real.
Is that what Bob used to call me back in the day? You little hokey hokey girl.
He calls you the yogurt lady.
That's right. Oh, how funny. So how would you think, if we were talking to specifically women that lived on boats, either cruising, actively cruising, or living aboard, or looking at that in their future, how could this benefit their lives specifically?
I think that anytime you do something, make time for yourself, you'll be better off taking care of other people. And people that take care of other people, like me, I enjoy that. I was born that way. I love to do it. They quite often do not take care. They never have time to take care of themselves. It's just the way it is. Oh no, I'll do that later. I've got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do that. Yeah. If you can actually make time for yourself, it will just make whatever you're doing in life, whatever, if you're boating or you're not boating. I just think whatever you do, it'll help. So.
Yeah. And that seems to be the theme I've run into talking to a lot of different women in a lot of different arenas, specifically the boating world, the marine industry, that self-care is the first thing to go out the window. And unfortunately, self-care should be the number one priority, because so many of us women do fall into that everybody else comes first.
Right. We're more natural.
Yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, so that's a good point. That's a good point. Cool. Thank you. So, Jody, what do you guys have on the agenda? What do you have coming up, especially with this world as crazy as it is right now? What do you have burning?
We're thinking, you know, we might be going to Annapolis. We're planning on it, and we've also are doing a one-day course at Cruisers University. The Monday before Annapolis opens, we're doing a full one-day course, and then we'll do the Annapolis Boat Show. But I don't know the way things are going. We'll have to wait and see. We're planning on it, and if we have to cancel or they cancel, whatever, we'll just do it. You know, Norwalk just canceled. Don't know if you heard, it just canceled today or yesterday.
Canceled. Annapolis is going, but you said they're cutting it down to 40% admittance.
Yeah, they're going to make sure that the traffic flow is a lot less. So they've got a lot to work on to figure that out. Yeah. So, you know, and then after that, we, of course, we have the St. Pete Boat Show and our big party in the first part of December. So we'll see if that's still happening. Next year, we were planning in March, the first week of March, to go around the Horn. Yeah, on this beautiful cruise ship. It's really small. It only holds 200 people. And it's a 4-day, and it takes you down around the Horn. You physically can get out and walk up on the Horn and all that, and go see penguins and glaciers. And we're getting a group together to go do that. We're working with different groups, some other magazines too, to get a lot of sailors in. And then in May, we're going to try to do our Croatia flotilla again off the Dalmatian coast. So we're sailing out of Dubrovnik for any of those people that are fans of, oh God, what is it called?
Game of Thrones.
Yes, I drew a blank. Game of Thrones. Yes, that's where the castle is, where Ceres Castle is.
Oh, cool.
So it's
let's cross our fingers that they kind of find some balance.
Right. And meanwhile, Bob and I are just here enjoying the heck out of our home and our property. Yeah. So
cool. Very cool. All right. Is there anything else you would like to share?
Not that I can think of, except you need to go to Yoga Foundations and get the online course.
Yeah. And then that is found inside the studio, and I'll post a link in the comment section to the online studio to look at for more information on.
Sounds good.
And you can join. Hi. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to sign off here. Jody, I cannot thank you enough for joining me on my first live interview. Super excited about this. And we will, let's do plan on coming back after the 30-day cleanse is over and reporting our results.
There you go. That'll be fun.
All right. Okay.
All right, Mama.
All right. Love you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.